Hello, 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 hello. Welcome in, folks, and thank you for joining us here at EUphoria. If you are here a lot, then lovely to see you. If it is your first time, then you will find all of the social media links down below, pointing downwards. So go check them out.
Down there somewhere.
Today we are going to be playing Vaesen, a somewhat loosely festive charity game of Vaesen, which is a system by the incredible Free League Publishing. It will be my first time GMing this, and it will be my lovely players' first time playing. But we've totally got this. We have this in the bag, and we're very, very, very excited to play and share this story with you all. First of all, let me address some safety bits. Vaesen is a horror game, so you will find that it will contain a lot of horror tropes. In this instance, you might find blood, witchcraft, extreme temperatures and extreme weather conditions, and some mild references to gore, and also some off-screen harm to animals. If any of those things sound like a great big no to you, then thank you for joining us. Please protect your headspace. The same goes for anything else that might come up as the game is in action. We are implementing lines, veils, and safety tools at this table. So in order to try and keep everyone involved safe and happy, just remember to protect yourself. With that said, let's have some introductions. It's time for me to give my voice a teeny tiny break. I will go first though. So I'm Kat. I am Lawmistress93 on social media, and I use she, they pronouns, and I will be the game master this evening. I will be running this lovely lot and hopefully giving them an adventure that they'll enjoy. Players, I'm going to go around. I'm going to see on this overlay where everyone is sitting. Cool. I'm going to go around. I'm going to get everyone to introduce themselves. If you could give me your name, your pronouns, and I did not do it. A visual description of yourself. So I am a white woman. I have big, thick, chunky glasses on, and red hair, and a green T-shirt on. If everyone could kind of give a little visual description of themselves, and tell us the name of the character that you will be playing, also, please. I will start with Chris, if that's okay.
Hi, I'm Chris. My pronouns are he, him, and you can find me on socials at Vengaboy and those things. I have fairly light brown skin, black moustache and beard, and I'm wearing a brown waistcoat and a dark blue button-up T-shirt. And I'm going to be playing Dale Kirkwood, affectionately or not affectionately known to some as Old Man Kirkwood.
Hey.
Not the oldest person in the group, I noticed.
Not the oldest person in the group,
but no one would ever call your character something about
old woman.
This is true.
Old woman. That's very, very true. Oh well, I think that segues us nicely. We'll go kind of around as if we're a clock. So Megan, please introduce yourself and your character.
Sure. Hello, I am Megan. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on socials at MumbleMegs on most things. I am a pale-skinned woman, usually with brown hair, although I'm sporting a grey wig today, and some glasses, a black top, and a black necklace. That is me.
All right, and who are you playing?
Oh, of course. I'm Effie Turner today. Nice to meet you.
I can't wait to see how long that voice lasts.
Probably not long.
Probably not long. I love it. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Megan. And last but not least, Shaghik. Let's go.
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Shaghik. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on right now, basically just blue sky at Shaghik, which is SHAGHIK, or just look in the chat. right about probably now. I I am also I'm also about a woman of about 25 years old. I've got sort of shoulder length hair, slightly longer than shoulder length hair, light dark brown hair. It's usually black, so it's weird to telling people that it's dark brown right now. Dark brown eyes and stuff, light skin. I've got fairy wings in the background, if that's of interest to anybody.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be playing Dr. Adelaide Russell in this game.
So we got Old Man Dale, Old Woman Effie, and Dr.
Middle-aged.
Adelaide.
Hey, I probably should be here for Old Man Dale and Old Woman Effie.
Yeah, yeah, no,
true.
that's fine. We need a little bit of youth. All right, thank you so much, lovely players, for introducing yourself. I love the moment that we all realised that we were like, oh, we have to describe ourselves. I have no idea what I'm wearing or what I look like anymore. So that happened to every single one of us. So cool. Just before we get started, I have a little bit of housekeeping to do. So first up, I did briefly mention that this is a charity stream. We are supporting and accepting donations for the amazing charity called War Child. They work in conflict zones kind of across the globe to support children and their families, and we're very, very proud to support them in their work. You can find the Tiltify link to donate in chat. And if you do donate, we have a few little incentives going throughout our game. I'm sure that I'm not going to live to regret any of these at all. So let's start with at £5. Hold on, again, I need to look at the overlay to know where I'm pointing. This way? Am I pointing this way? This way? No, it might be this way. What on the sidebar, you will find that we have a £5 donation called Crack a Joke, and or perhaps I will end up putting one of my players on the spot if I decide that it's. I can see the sheer terror in their eyes. I have
prepared for this.
Well. Good luck. It's charity. It's for charity. So we have. I will be cracking a joke, cracking a Christmas or a festive related joke. Just so you're aware, I'm not coming up with any of these off the top of my head. I have a lovely tab open that's got a whole list of 160 of them, and I'm just going to pick one at random, the worst ones that I can find. And I want every single one of you in the chat to laugh like it's the funniest thing that you've heard. At £10, I will be gifting my players a dice. So I will have a sort of imaginary dice pool in my head. And every time you donate £10, you put a little dice in that dice pool. So at any point when I call for a check, any player can say, hello, I would like to grab a dice from that dice pool or a couple of dice from that dice pool. We have 3 in there and I want to take 2 because this is quite an important check and we need as many dice as possible. So that is what your £10 donations can get us. £15 will be less kind to our players. It will present an opportunity for me to introduce some GM complication that probably will be more complicated for me than anything, but here we go. And £20, St. Biran's Blessing. I will grant something fortuitous upon all of our players. Yes, St. Biran is relevant to the adventure. It's not a typo, or it's a thing in this adventure. The most exciting one of all, everyone, £25. Don we our gay apparel. We all have, hopefully, some kind of festive things that we can all grab. Jumpers, dealy boppers, tinsel, the lot, and every single time £25 is donated, we will have to put something of the sort on. My first one will be Christmassy socks. Currently, my toes are freezing, so if you want to save,
Cop-out cat.
if you,
Oh no,
I I have other
see the
things too.
socks.
Right, I'll show them. My goodness. Oh my goodness. What a call out already. Okay, I have Christmassy
Tough
socks. I have
crowd.
Christmassy jumper. I have other things. All right, it's for charity. I'm trying to build the hype, trying to build the. Anyway, so we have that second bit of housekeeping. We are running a giveaway. Everyone go woo! I wasn't actually expecting you to do it, but incredible that you did. So the wonderful Rune Fable. They have provided us with a gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous, one-of-kind set. So you can find that on social media. Down again, head over to EUphoria social media, and you'll be able to find what the dice look like. Just type the keyword !dice giveaway, all as one big block of text in chat to enter any time during this month's Deck the Dice streams. Myself and the wonderful Ruben, who is going to be running, I had to think of the word there, running Heart. So the giveaway will conclude on the 19th of December, which is the second part of Ruben's Heart stream, and all of the entries will be gathered together and then winners will be picked from those. So to be in with a chance, !dice giveaway, all as one block. All right. Already my throat is going.
Oh, no.
And we've barely begun. No, it's fine, we're gonna be fine. So with all that said, I do think it is time that we got started. Players, how are we feeling? Are we feeling ready to get started, ready to get a little bit scary?
Ready for the
Yeah.
spooky times.
Ready for the spooky times. I love it. Okay.
I want to be terrified. I swear.
Oh, no pressure, but I have written a prologue, so hopefully this is
what's
scary
the-
enough for you.
Can we swear? I forgot.
You
Ooh,
you
good
can,
question.
yeah. I think maybe not like anything that's gonna massively violate like
Right.
Nothing offensive.
No.
Yeah, but just you know,
Ooh.
I think the
Effie
odd,
likes an F-bomb.
still like the odd F-bomb and everything should be acceptable enough.
Wonderful.
All right. Our opening scene pans over the western English county of Gloucestershire, a country defined by the lush, rolling Cotswold hills, the winding valleys that surround the River Severn, and the verdant but often imposing Forest of Dean. We glide in further, past the bustling market town of Annonsbury, which is like the other communities around it, rustic and comparatively backward. Along the path out of town and further into rural farmland, we see that the landscape is a place little changed since the Middle Ages, where the remains of prehistoric stonework dot the grassy slopes. Until eventually, we reach a large moor just outside the village of Brancombe, where the festivities of May Day are in full swing. Various stalls are set up selling all manner of goods. People laugh and joke and sing, and a large pole stands tall in the middle of the field, the ribbons attached to it fluttering carelessly in the warm breeze. We see the arrival of Daisy Thomas, her hair braided and her smile bright, eyes gazing around the festivities and landing on the boy she'd hoped to see, Billy Winchcombe, and we watch as the bright smile fades into the raw and tear-filled sting of heartbreak as the girl on his arm throws her head back and laughs at something he just said. He spots Daisy too late and calls out after her as she runs from the May Day fair, but he cannot hope to catch her, and she winds her way into the country wilds, angry and humiliated. Climbing the gorse-covered hillside, her grief does not allow her to be quite as aware of her surroundings as is safe. She slips and trips, cuts herself on thorns, and eventually tumbles down with a small rock slide, landing next to a cave. She hits her head on the standing stone outside it and starts to bleed. Her ankle twists, and she cries harder with the pain mixed in with the unfiltered bitterness and devastation that comes with lost love. She does not realize the danger she is in, or the creature she has awoken, until it is far too late. A clawed hand sets itself upon her shoulder, and a cracked, wheezing voice murmurs in her ear. There, child. Let me set the pain right. Daisy's breath hitches. She starts to shiver, and the camera pans upwards to the sky as the silence is broken by Daisy Thomas's terrified screams of agony as the creature sets upon her. The sun, shining bright and awarding Branscombe with its hottest day of the year so far mere moments ago, cannot bear to watch either, and it drifts behind a cloud. And the last thing we see here, as the screaming stops and we find silence again, is a single snowflake gently drifting down, and settling upon an outstretched, blood-stained finger, one that is no longer bound to its hand. A month later, in June, we find ourselves in the smog-filled city of London. Effie, you received a letter recently from a young man who was once a student that would write to you frequently about all manner of topics on theology, folklore, and history. It has sparked your interest to the point that you feel it necessary to assemble those that you know and trust, Adelaide and Dale, from the Society, a secret group that dedicate themselves to the investigation of, learning about, and dealings with creatures known as Vaesen. You and your fellow friends are all Thursday's children. That means that you are gifted with the sight, and you are able to see and connect with these creatures in a way that ordinary mortals cannot. First of all, as a group, let's have a little little bit of world building going on here. What do we think that this meeting spot looks like? So where are we assembling? Is it like a quiet pub? Is it a back room? Or like a rented kind of floor off the beaten track down an alleyway? What do we think that this space that you tend to meet is?
My first thought, if I may cut in, I guess, is might be basic, might be cliche, but sort of like an abandoned old school that is like the windows are broken and like there's one skeleton from the bio still left in there, that is just somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Not middle of nowhere, but yeah.
So it would be in the London, but
outskirts.
it would be in London, but maybe a bit off the beaten track kind of thing, a quieter suburb of London, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sort of place that people don't tend to end up in accidentally, which I guess suits us. And it's probably been some effort made on our part, but definitely at least Dale's part, to try and make it a bit more comfortable. There's probably an old comfy armchair that's been built in there, and maybe like a little table in front of it to put cups of tea down and stuff.
Oh, I love that. It is definitely like very much your headquarters, so you would definitely have like kind of put your. It's a great idea, yeah. So what kind of comforts would you have put in this place?
I'm just gonna real quick. I know this is not good for the stream, but am I using the right microphone? Can you hear this?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
God.
You
Hear
are.
you well.
You're all good. Don't worry. Don't
Good.
worry, Scooby.
All good.
Okay.
You're all good.
So what kind of comforts?
So Dale's kind of brought in a sort of sofa and places to put cups of tea down. Very, very important places to put cups of tea down. That's probably the most important
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
to be honest.
Essential.
Essential.
Absolutely. I think Effie, having been a writer of some modest renown back in her youth, she still likes to dabble. So she set up a little writer's corner somewhere. She's got a simple desk and everything she would need to take her notes. And yes, lots and lots of tea. Must have tea.
Just imagine that you've just got like an entire like shelf that's just different types of tea, like like various
totally.
different caddies.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I think like one of the bookcases has been dragged in from the library, and like some of it is books for sure, but then there's also just like just boxes and boxes of tea that you kind of pull out like it's what shall I be sampling today? Kind of,
Yeah,
right.
one for every mood and one for every day of the week.
Sure. And I think otherwise it's like Dale does a lot of walking and exploring and stuff, so there's probably areas for various kinds of walking gear and stuff like that. Just sort of things he might need to pick up on his way in and out.
I think because you have seen Adelaide dabble with perhaps poisons and other things to brew and create and such. She's probably set up in her room for herself with all those like chemistry glass thingies and a little Bunsen burner and all that sort of things.
All of us just thinking back to our school days, like what did we used to have? Bunsen burners, heat mats.
That's one.
Not me. I didn't learn chemistry in English. It's even harder for me. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great.
My
Beakers,
knowledge
yes.
is from Breaking Bad. That's from my.
All right. Well, we know exactly what you've got going on in that room, then.
Yep.
Don't come in.
Don't come in.
My face is blue. Please don't come
let
in.
the cops in here. Incredible. All right, so we've kind of set up this place a little bit. I think it's a sort of an abandoned, old school. It's barely keeping itself together as a building. It's in quite a quiet area, and it probably doesn't draw huge amounts of notice or attention, which is perfect. So, given that you have all been, Adelaide and Dale, you have been summoned here by Effie, who has probably enthusiastically told you that there might be a mystery afoot for you all to go and investigate. Who do we think, and this includes you as well, Effie, who do we think of the three of you is most likely to arrive first?
Me.
You?
Me.
Punctual?
Adelaide is very responsible, very punctual.
Okay.
Is
I don't
Adelaide?
know.
Okay.
Effie's a pretty good runner.
Completely unlike me. Wait, what did Effie say?
Effie said I'm a pretty good runner. Chat, you are all going to find out why that is hilarious at some point, I'm sure. So, and I cannot wait. So, all right. So, very, very punctual. So, would you say that Adelaide is the kind of person that would rock up early?
Okay, I guess. Okay, and actually, would other people come early? Because I think Adelaide is more like I arrive literally exactly the moment we've planned to arrive, and I don't mean I wait outside and ring the doorbell. Well, no doorbell, but ring the doorbell the exact moment I need to. I mean, she like plans for it and is there when
At
she
the
needs
time.
to be. So if other people
Anyone-
can arrive early, then they arrive early.
Anyone an early bird?
I have no guess. I think,
No. All right, Adelaide, you know that when you get here, you're going to be on time, and the other two are going to be late. But give us a little idea. So, Dr. Adelaide Russell, please give. I'd love to know what do you imagine Adelaide kind of looks like, and what Adelaide has been doing today. Like, what does a little snippet, a slice of life look like for Adelaide before Adelaide arrives at this meeting place?
Oh God. Okay. Well, Adelaide in her day job, her real life, away from the darkness, the Vaesen, what was it?
The Vaesen, yep.
She is like a fancy doctor in a expensive hospital, and like in a whatever posh part of town, London, and she's quite actually like not like well known. She's not like famous, but in the hospital she's quite respected, and she's always very well dressed, and it's sort of she's a surgeon, because I've watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy, and and it's almost like everything she does is like always so stressful, and like, oh my God, she saved so many lives, but typically she keeps a sort of cool, doesn't really show, at least anymore, doesn't really show a lot of her emotions, I suppose, but she is still like again at her workplace she has a sort of balance of like friendly and responsible and this whatever strict when she needs to be, but then when she hits the society, the people, for example, Dale and Effie don't really see that side as much. They just sort of see the quiet, completely like locked in side of Adelaide, of we need to kick some ass and get some Vaesen and shit. Yeah, she's sort of
Incredible.
That's our motto, right?
Yes.
Kick some ass, get some Vaesen,
yes.
and shit.
And shit.
Where does the comma come in that? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Thank God the plumbing still works at this abandoned school. Anyway, so she's about average height, always dressed very neatly, very put together. Never like stands out. Clothes never stand out, but they never look like tacky or anything. But it always looks clean and tidy and very well made. Everything she wears.
Awesome. All right. Well, you arrive, but before we do that, some donation incentives have come in, everyone. So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through this. So I've got to crack a joke. So we'll start with that one. Everyone, get ready to laugh in the chat. What does an elf study in school?
What does an elf study in school?
The alphabet.
Wait.
Hey! Oh! Okay. We will absolutely start as we need to go on. We've had one £5. We have had not one, but another one has just come in. 2 player dice for the dice pool. So already you have some dice to like take from should you need it.
Thank you.
And everyone, the big one, the one that we've all been waiting for. It is time to don our gay apparel because someone has donated £25. So thank you so much. Somebody in chat earlier said to me that I needed to show the socks. So here are the socks. They have snowmen on them. I can't see it very well. There you go. Snowmen on my socks. Thank you for thinking of my poor cold feet, everyone. Been like sitting on them, like, please somebody donate this soon.
I accidentally already put on my first layer of gay apparel. I apologize.
Well,
for that.
no, it doesn't count now. Sorry, you have to put something else on.
No. All right, hold on.
Socks.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
All right. right, everyone. So thank you so much. So that's incredible. We've had so many donations already. We have barely begun. I think like it's going to go on like this for the entire stream, which would be wonderful. All right, so Dr. Adelaide, so you turn up, and as you expected, I imagine that you probably would expect this by now. You are the first one here, despite being exactly on time. So what do you kind of like do? Do you just kind of set up and sit and wait, or do you get yourself doing something else in the meantime?
I come in, I take off my coat immediately, take off my scarf, put it on the little coat hanger, as I always do. I think I probably just take out my book and just sit there, knowing that I don't need to start getting ready, getting set up for another 15 minutes at least. Maybe probably more than that until Effie and Dale start arriving. Or like get close to arriving, and then maybe I can start setting up.
Incredible. Who is coming in next?
I think Dale probably rocks in. Not that late, but I imagine him as the sort of person who's like getting ready to leave in his house, and then he remembers, oh, there's something I've got to do first, and then faffs around for a couple of minutes doing various tasks that you should have done half an hour ago when you were sitting down reading this book, but is now only doing it as he's supposed to be leaving the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so probably he arrives, 5 or 10 minutes after their agreed meeting time.
I just want to say that is the most relatable thing I've ever heard. Just there's tasks that you could have been doing all day, but you're doing them only now as you're supposed to be leaving the house. That is literally me 10 minutes before stream going, there's all these chores that I'm supposed to have done. Let me just run around and do them now.
And it's not at all based on anyone in reality or anything.
It's fine.
And
yes, what's Dale been up to today?
I think, I suppose if we're meeting, I guess probably meeting in the evening after a normal day's
yeah, I would say so, sort of early evening.
I think Dale, does odd jobs every so often. But I think at this point he's kind of retired, I suppose. Doesn't have regular work. So I think what he does as his hobby is he goes out into the countryside, goes out and heads out somewhere and goes on walks and just kind of explores around, takes notes on what he finds and kind of is kind of collecting it there. Probably some of the books that we've got stored in the library are things that he's kind of put together in his findings over the years.
Oh, I love that. Just like little like notebooks of stuff.
Yeah. And so he's he's 60 years old, so but quite fit for an older gentleman. He does a lot of walking and stuff. So and he rocks in wearing quite simple, not necessarily badly maintained or anything, but simple and warm clothes. And he's wearing a big warm-looking overcoat as well. And he's got a scarf on, gloves. He looks like I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's been called out.
Well, it's actually summertime. It's June, which is why I said it was loosely festive. This adventure, but it might have been a sort of slightly chilly, overcast day in June in London.
I think you're probably used to seeing him wearing clothes that are warmer than you think you need. And he's wearing quite a hefty backpack. It looks like it's got various little pouches and things and metal implements hanging off the bottom of it. And he walks with a cane as he comes in.
Yes, props.
But, you probably would notice that sometimes when if he's walking upstairs or if he's getting down from a ledge, where you'd think he would use the cane to help him, he actually lifts it off the ground and does that himself, and then gently places it. Gay Apparel's going, I'll get that in a minute. So as he comes in, he similarly kind of shrugs off his backpack and drops it by the armchair, and then takes off his coat and his scarf. And, I think he doesn't hang them up as neatly as Adelaide did. He just kind of throws them over the back of his chair, and then very gingerly rests the cane up against the arm of the chair. as he greets Adelaide, who walks in. I'm a speaker better. I'm second to arrive now. That's not usual. You know, I'm getting there, Adelaide. You don't have to be so disapproving all the time. You know, it's only look. It's only 5 minutes. It's fine. And he sits back down in the chair. It's like, so just one more to go.
What's that?
Just one more to go.
Yeah, it's just one more to go. Just once. I would have liked to not be the first to arrive, but at least I get my reading done.
I love it. All right. So tell me.
Side note. I sort of put through together last second. I was like, oh god, what can I do to gay parallelize myself? And I put on red and green eyeshadow.
Incredible. I love it. All right. So tell me, Effie, how late does Effie arrive? Do you think?
I think late, pretty late. Not because she lives very far away, but she just wanted to have a lie-in. You know, she's just taking her sweet time.
Incredible. What a queen.
Yeah, there's no rush. It's not like there's lives to save.
You gotta do your warm-up stretches and stuff first, you know. Yeah, so yeah, we see this older woman, perhaps in her 70s, very slight of frame and short in stature, and her hair long since grey from the passage of time. Probably a bit grayer from all the things she's seen in her time. And she's just gently smiling as she walks along a tree-lined avenue. It's a nice day out. She's just taking her time, taking in the sunshine and the bird song and humming a little tune to herself. Finally, she gets to the door. Kind of remembers, really, she needs to pick up the pace a little bit. There are lives at stake, after all.
Wow.
With a slight cough, she's going to enter and say a little too loudly, "How the hell are all of you? You've been waiting."
Wow, Falcon. It's nice to see you. Ugh. And Adelaide gets up from her seat. I'm doing wonderful. And then, how are you? And then she starts like putting her coat back on, I guess.
Well, when you get to this age, I mean, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm fine. There's always something, isn't there?" But, you know, all things considered, I'm doing all right. Thank you, Dr. Russell.
Good to see you, Effie. Good to see you. I get you a cup of tea. I just put a pot on.
Oh, yes.
Not after I got here.
Can I have the biggest cup that you have?
Oh, I always make sure to save it for you, Effie. Don't worry.
Oh, you're a good man, Dale. I've always liked you.
He does the lift himself up.
Oh, I know what that's like.
Grabs the big old teacup and pours one out and hands it over, and it says, we're getting ready.
Yes, this is good. This is nice.
Adelaide takes off her coat again. With a big sigh. All right. Okay, that's fine. Gotta keep those. Gotta keep warm. That's good. Tea is good.
Yes, warm up the old bones.
I'm just gonna I'll be right back. She just goes to another room just to take a little walk.
Give me the moment.
So already we have only just brought these characters together, and already one of them is about to mutiny. Okay, so you kind of you go for a little walk, Adelaide, and the two of you, Dale and Effie, probably have the most wonderful catch up over a lovely cup of tea, bit of a natter. But of course there is business at hand to be discussed, and eventually I imagine that poor Dr. Russell makes her way back into the room and makes some impatient noise that indicates we are here for a reason.
Letter. Here, take a look.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. I was wondering why you called us here. Is this what it's about? Let me have a read.
All right.
Yes.
So you hand over the letter, probably to Dr. Russell, and Dale, you kind of lean over a shoulder and kind of peruse exactly what this letter says. And Effie, you already know what it says. It says, for the sake of our dear listeners, my dear friend, I fear I have been remiss in failing to keep up our acquaintance. The correspondence of my student days was most enlightening for me, and I dare hope that you found some diversion in it as well. I am busy with the duties of my parish, but I still dabble in local archaeology and folklore, and have read from the London newspapers about some of your recent writings and discoveries also. I wish I were writing now to renew our acquaintance and to propose further exchanges on such fascinating matters, but I have another purpose. Certain troubling events around the village where I serve as curate of the church reminded me of our discussions concerning the legends surrounding certain standing stones and their connection in folklore with tales of witches, hags, and other troll folk. More than that, a young woman is dead, horribly murdered, and her former suitor is in danger of hanging for the crime. Since the unfortunate girl's body was found, our village has been in the grip of winter. Frosts as bitter as those of February blight the flowers of June, and some creature, perhaps a wolf, though none has been seen in these parts for centuries at least, has been driven by the cold to prey on farmers' livestock. Other strange occurrences have added to the woes of the local people, and there is talk of a curse. In my student days, you hinted at some knowledge, some secret resource that you could bring to bear in unraveling mysteries of this nature. If you do indeed have it in your power to investigate our situation and bring the truth to light, then I beg you, do me the honor of visiting. My home is humble, but it is at your disposal. I await your reply eagerly and hope for the pleasure of renewing our acquaintance in person. Sincerely yours, Edgar Longby, M.A. Cantab, curate of the parish of St. Biron, Brancombe, near Annonsbury, Gloucestershire.
Edgar Longby.
Edgar Longby.
Wonderful. Oh my god. This is serious.
So sounds rather dire. What have you sent a reply to him, Effie?
No, not yet. I wanted to speak to you first.
You know what would be the best reply? Getting there ourselves to figure this out. I feel like we would be
That
faster
sounds
than
like
the
a
mail.
plan.
Agreed.
I'll put my coat on.
I'll take this tea to go.
I've got some travel cups around here somewhere. Give me a moment.
Oh, thank you.
Incredible that you all as players are like, let's go! We're taking the coach tonight. It's probably best that you write back and let him know that you're on your way. So in this interim, you do get a chance to make some preparation before the journey. I think if you are thinking that you would like to go sooner, rather than later. I would allow for you all to do like one kind of thing that will give you some extra preparation for this journey. That can be, for example, studying your destination or trying to do a little bit of research to kind of learn a little bit about the destination. You can try to hone a skill of yours in some way and gain yourself some kind of advantage for the future. Or perhaps try to get hold of some equipment that you might want or need. So that's my few things, and I will allow for one thing of each of those, if that makes sense. Also, we have had some more donations come in. I have seen that that we have 2 in the communal pool, and we have 1 that has been specifically given to Megan. So Merry Christmas, Megan. Use it wisely.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. We have hit £100 already in donations. So thank you so much. That's incredible work. Thank you so much to everyone that has donated. Just absolutely awesome. All right. So did anyone have any thoughts on like what they would like to do to prepare? And this is where you also will maybe need your dice handy and nearby.
Yes, I would absolutely like to go and get more equipment, please.
And what equipment are you after?
Well, I don't have a weapon.
That's probably I in fact I feel that none of you have a weapon. Am I correct in thinking that? What an excellent idea to go and get yourself some kind of weapon.
I don't need a weapon. I am a weapon.
Dale just with his stick, like I could do something with this.
No, I think Dale's more like, I don't need a weapon. Effie's a weapon.
Effie's a weapon.
Let me at him.
Incredible. And Adelaide just like, I'm gonna go and get us a weapon.
No, you're
The
right.
wise one. Yeah.
All right. What kind of have you thought about what kind of weapon you might want to?
Sort of a pistol, I feel like would be good.
A gun, yes. I feel like that's a pretty good sort of like, I guess, half a day or day's worth of work of just going out and procuring yourself some kind of firearm. And obviously, this being a few centuries back, shall we say, it's a little easier to get hold of a firearm here in the UK. Then, so let's
Am I allowed to only get one equipment? Do I only have time to buy one thing?
What was the other thing that you wanted?
I'll get back to you on that after other people say what they want.
What I will do, I will say that you can definitely get the weapon, and we could do a roll to see if you could manage to get something else, if you had something else that you wanted to get. So let's actually have a look at that. So you can definitely get hold of a weapon. Get hold of it. It's a pistol. You said you wanted, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, pistol or revolver. Yeah. You can get hold of one of those. Page 77 in the book will tell you kind of like what the stats of it are. So feel free to grab those. And then I would say maybe you could, I would say roll me an investigation check. I think investigation makes the most sense. Just to kind of see how much more you're able to get.
Okay, me?
Yep. So for those at home, investigation is a logic skill, so you are rolling the 3. So actually, no, let me see what your particular stat is in that. So you have 5 in logic and 2 in investigation, which means you are rolling 7 die, and you are hoping to get a 6 on one of those die, at least, for success.
Right, I've got 7 die.
Mhm.
All right. That
D6s,
is
obviously.
2 6s.
Hey, all right. You may get yourself 2 more things, and we can circle back round to you to see what they are.
Well, am I able to? Okay, if somebody else really wants something, let me know. Maybe I'll get it for you.
Maybe Dr. Adelaide will get it for you. So yes, what we'll do, we'll go to Effie and we'll go to Chris, and we'll see if they have something that they're thinking, I would quite like to see if you could get hold of that. Then this is your opportunity to pitch to pitch to Dr. Adelaide and see if Dr. Adelaide will accept your terms. Who's next? Who's doing something next?
I have no. Well, it was a very similar thought actually. I think Dale similarly wants to arm himself, but I think is more thinking of some kind of wild animal, maybe not wanting to be up too close. Look for a more long range weapon like a rifle. Something that you can keep yourself apart from it. So, is that something that you could reasonably searching around a bit pick up for himself?
You could, or you could ask Dr. Adelaide very nicely and do something else if you wanted. It is entirely up to you.
I might call that in. Yeah, if Adelaide's already going looking for firearms, then I might.
Sounds like Adelaide's going straight to the gun shop. So
yeah, try it.
I think maybe have a look at the what's written down, what's in the letter, what we know so far, and maybe have a look through those notes and things that I've been collecting about Vaesen I've encountered over the years and see if I can recognize anything. Maybe.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
lore
you
dive.
can. Yes, in fact, I can give you a roll for that right now. Let me just find out exactly what that looks like. So I would like you to make a learning test for me.
Okay, so that's 1 for learning and 3 for logic.
Yes.
Okay. That's 1 6.
You got a success. Fantastic. So what you would probably get as you kind of look through you look through your own notes, and this is headquarters that is related to kind of like investigating Vaesen. So of course there's going to be a lot of like books and things on folklore and the kind of creatures that perhaps you have encountered before, or certainly you might have heard of, or other members of the society that you kind of have chatted to might have kind of talked about in their adventures. You know, just from like initial readings, that hags are very common in folklore, and the names of local hags are sometimes given to standing stones and other sort of like prehistoric remains. You would also probably know, based on that, that area, Gloucestershire, is quite famous for its sort of Neolithic, very old sort of stones and standing stones and things that do kind of exist in that county. There's a fair amount of them. So that's something that I think you would kind of definitely find in your learning and your research, as it were.
Okay, maybe take some notes down to maybe have a look at standing stones when they arrive in the place. Local standing stones.
Definitely something that might be worth a kind of a look and a thought.
Kat, is it possible at all to, if you have it written down, to send the text that was in the letter? Just because.
Yes, I can. I can absolutely do that. I will do that for you now. All right. And just to check, Dr. Russell, are you okay to procure a rifle for?
Yes, I can procure a rifle for retail.
Fantastic. Could you imagine if you were just like, no?
You're on your own.
All right. Okay. All right, Effie, what is it that you are thinking that you might want to do?
I think it would be a good idea to have a weapon. So I think the wise thing would be something long range. However,
Yeah.
I think it would be really funny if
Yeah.
we had some knuckle dusters.
Ooh.
What are we thinking, team?
Oh my god. Please.
We've lost Cat.
Oh my goodness, I love this granny so much.
I think
Okay.
it's more dangerous by the second. We're all just living in a different world.
Effie is a weapon.
I was saying.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me just check that knuckle dusters is sitting in the list of. Is it in the list of?
It is.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
in
it is, yeah.
It
melee
is.
weapons.
Obviously, it's going to take a level of physique to wield them.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
Um,
I've got 2 in physique.
not that
Does
I'm
help?
doubting your abilities at all. But
If all
you
else
do.
fails, just run away really fast.
Let me just see what the attack with a melee weapon is. A skill. The skill is close combat. So that that's you would have 2 dice in that. I'm just telling you. I'm not telling you what to do. You are absolutely.
I'm not saying
This might be where the dice pool needs to come in.
I feel like Effie is very much in her I don't give a fuck era. And
Yep.
yeah, I think that's what she would go for.
Is it
Okay.
You know, is it all right? I think I'll be honest, because the 2 of you are getting a weapon, and I
Okay.
have 0 in close combat or a long range, I might just not get a weapon and to get something else instead as a equipment.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely
Also,
fine.
Effie, am I getting your weapon or are you buying it?
I mean, if you want to treat me.
If you want to get the weapon for Effie, I can see that the burden of responsibility of weapon buying seems to have fallen.
Okay, so
What is the other thing that you wanted? Tell me.
well, I'm looking at either where is it? A compass or like a crowbar or something.
Mhm. Okay. All right. You rolled 2 successes, and it's a 2-shot, and it's Christmas. So I will let you get all of the things because 2 successes is quite significant. I'll let you get all of the things. So you can have a crowbar and a compass and the 3 weapons.
2 weapons.
Just purely because I really want to see Effie with knuckle dusters. I really do.
Thank you, Kat.
I sometimes can be generous. But I should be prudent and warn you that I have also in donations been awarded a GM complication, which I am popping in the bank, and in recompense.
I do
Fair
have
enough.
a question though. How much did all of this cost? Because there are money mechanics, aren't there? Like resources.
There are, but it is a 2-shot. So I know that I've looked at your resources based on your thing. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to sit here and do all of the maths and everything like that. Please. This is a blessing to me not to have to do maths.
No. That's totally fine. But I am gonna be a little bit like grumpy that I put 2 skill points in my resources.
Did you?
I did.
Did you actually?
I did.
Oh, I did not realize you'd done that.
I went from 4 to 6 because I was like, I want to be rich because I am rich.
It is because of your resources that you are able to get all of those things.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Otherwise, you might have had to have done some check to see if you could get some money off.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
All right. Okay. All right, so Effie, you have some knuckle dusters. Now, if you have something else you want to do, that's fine. Because because your agility is not great, I will also allow you to train up a little bit in and get yourself
Training montage.
an advantage if you wish to practice the art of close combat with your knuckle dusters. That's
Yeah.
something that you can do in your time, or you can do more research or whatever it is.
No, I think Effie's gonna head out into the local park, do some Tai Chi, doing her calisthenics. Yeah, she's getting buff.
Yes. This is the greatest game I've ever played. Okay, so fantastic. You are gonna, and what that gives you. Let's see what it gives you. Roll for me and a close combat check.
Okay. So I have nothing in close combat. Woohoo.
But you have two. You have 2 in physique, so you'd be rolling 2 dice.
Yep. Ugh. That's a 3 and a 2.
3 and a 2. Okay. So basically, what I will say is I am going to give you an advantage, but it's not going to be the full advantage that you would normally get because you failed the roll. So normally you get a +2 per like gaming session, which I was going to say is each episode, I guess. And that's for specifically using close combat.
Okay.
Once per session. However, what I will do is I will give it to you as a +1 once per session.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you do get a little bit. You get a little bit. It's a little harder than you thought it was gonna be. But you're sure. Yeah, you're sure that in the moment you'll get there. You'll get it. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. All right. So we have had our preparations. And we have got ourselves a few different bits. Feel free to add to your. You will have your character keepers. Feel free to add your various things into your inventory. Like I said, on page 77 is where you will find the stats for your knuckle dusters and your rifle and your pistol. So now that you have prepared and gained advantage, you've gained a little bit of insight, and you kind of know what you could be looking for or what you might want to expect when you get there. You have sent the letter to Edgar Longby and received a very quick reply saying that he will get your rooms ready. So you are well on your way. The journey you take to Brankham from London, it involves a train to Bristol and then another train towards Gloucester. And you stop at the small town of Annonsbury. Longby is waiting for you there, and he kind of enthusiastically meets you all, and he has engaged a private coach to take you and your luggage the final sort of mile and a half that ends up being to the village of Brankham. As the track winds upwards towards Brankham through the wooded hills, something that you will have noticed immediately as you've kind of moved into Gloucestershire and got to kind of the town of Annonsbury is London was quite warm. Maybe had the odd kind of like brisk breeze or something. It's about June time, right? But as you've moved here and towards Annonsbury, it has gotten colder and colder. You can feel it in the air. You might have packed a little bit for the winter, I would think, because Longby did tell you that it has become like winter here. But I don't think any of you were expecting, as you roll through the hills towards Brancombe, to see snow on the ground. And there is sort of like this light dusting of snow, and there's kind of a little bit of frost on the paths. It does genuinely look like the middle of January. It does not seem like it is in any way summer here. You have some time now to talk with Longby as you are in this carriage. He is a small and studious man. He's 27, but he looks a decade older. This is partly because of his very quiet and serious demeanor, and partly you will feel the result of a very deliberate effort to seem mature and worthy of the respect of his parishioners. His sandy hair is quite neatly brushed. He has watery blue eyes, and he's quite pale behind his wire frame glasses. And he wears a dark suit with the dog collar of a clergyman. And he kind of looks at you all, and he's settling into his seat, and the carriage begins to move. And he goes, "Well, like I said, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Effie. Thank you so much for responding to my letter so promptly.
Oh, of course.
I honestly, I've been at quite a loss, and it's Dr. Russell, is it?
Adelaide Russell, yes.
Adelaide Russell, yes, and Dale Kirkwood.
That's me, yeah, Dale. It was a pleasure to meet you. Meet you, Longby.
Yes.
Tell me, lad. How long has this weather been like this? I mean, I don't. That journey was a bit, but it wasn't that long. I think.
So it has been. It's been about a month since the May Day, since all of this kicked off, and ever since then it has been growing colder and colder. The timelines just seem to match up for me.
Huh. Right. And has this ever happened in your... Is this sort of a normal occurrence for Brancombe?
No, not at all. No, we are like the rest of Britain.
Right.
We get, summer. It's normally the May Day itself was beautiful day, and then it just in the evening we started to feel this cold snap, and the cold snap turned colder and became less of a snap.
Was there perhaps any part of town that got colder first, and maybe it spread from there? Was there something like that noticed?
It's impossible to say, really. No one was tracking any of the weather patterns that specifically until it was too late.
No, that's fair, yes. Huh. Peculiar.
It seemed, I would say, to originate from Brancombe, where we are going.
And it's spreading out of Brancombe.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we're not in Brancombe yet.
No, we're not quite in Brancombe yet. We're travelling from Annonsbury to Brancombe.
Right. Yes, thank you very much. It's just so
That's okay.
It's just so foggy outside.
I
know. I can't see.
The snow is cut. Yes, I know.
Right. Well, tell me, lad. You know that you've lived here a lot. You know the area well. Right? Yes. Just out of curiosity, I suppose. I'm given to understand this area has quite a lot of old standing stones and old ruins and things and such. Is there anything in and around Brancombe that we might just a passing curiosity that we might be able to have a look at?
He as you were talking, you can tell he's been quite nervous. He's not really sure if this is the right move, if he's maybe even just there's a sense of he's a religious man, and there's a sense that he feels that maybe he has imagined that there might be some connection here, or that there might be something bizarre going on that goes beyond just a weird weather quirk. But the moment that you start asking that question, you can see something kind of slot into place as if he feels very validated in his thoughts just from your talk. And he goes, yes, see, now that's the question, isn't it? That's the right question, you see, because here's the thing. The girl that died, Daisy, her body was found. I'll point it out to you as we're getting a bit closer to Brankham, but it was up near a cave, a small cave. It barely can be called a cave, more of a burrow, really. But that cave is known very locally as Meg's Mount, and up there is a standing stone, sort of quite large thing. It's about the size of a human, really. And it has a lot of local legends and things surrounding it. But as these standing stones often do, you've read about them clearly. But I was on a walk the other day, and it's what prompted me to write to you, Effie, because I noticed on my walk something that I don't think anyone else has really noticed. No one tends to really go up there, especially since the body was discovered. The stone is gone.
Good heavens, gone?
Gone, and it's a significantly large stone. I had a look around. There's quite a lot of sort of like dips and things around. I wondered if perhaps it had finally crumbled and found its way to the bottom of some crevice, but I couldn't see anything.
Well, that's quite a hefty object to simply move out of the way. Yes.
Yes, and I wouldn't be able to tell you how long it had been gone. Like I said, hardly anyone ever goes up there, so...
But sometime in the last month, you figure.
I haven't walked up there for quite some time. And of course, finding the girl's body, that no one was looking for if the stone was there. They were far too fixated on the remains that they found.
Okay. Mental reminder for later. We need to talk to somebody who does go walk around there, maybe some school kids, maybe to find out what the timeline, when the stone disappeared exactly, at least more specifically, because last month a lot has happened and it could have been any time. Question, Mr. Longby.
Yes.
I think on our way here, Dale might have mentioned from his research that the standing stones are named after people.
Yes. This one was called Old Meg.
Right. Yes, that one. Yes.
Yes, and the cave. It's called Meg's Holt.
Holt. Thank you.
It's getting quite late now. Of course, I wouldn't advise walking up there. It's quite treacherous foothills, but perhaps tomorrow it might be that's a potential place that you could go to look for. I don't know what you do. Clues.
Yeah, clues.
Clues.
How exciting!
It seems like he's not. Of course, he knows that Effie is interested in folklore, and she's obviously hinted in their conversations that she knows a lot more than might meets the eye. But he has no idea what he's actually brought you here for. he's just like, well, hopefully they can help me. But it's just now he's just becoming to realise that whatever it is you do, the secret, the thing that you do, and he's just not quite sure what he's actually asking you to do. So he's just like, maybe go up there, have a look. There's people. Yes, absolutely. There's people that know the area a little better. I wouldn't necessarily say school children. We tend not to encourage our children to go up there, especially after the attack. But perhaps in the local inn, the Shepherd's Rest, there is a man whose name the GM is just frantically looking for. One moment. Tom.
Please
Tom.
hold.
Please hold. Tom. His name is Tom Pawsey. He's a little disagreeable, but he knows the area very well, and he's potentially a good candidate for someone that could show you around. Yes.
Wonderful. And he's a what? Sorry, what did you say? What? Tom is a. I think you mentioned an occupation or something.
I don't think I did.
Never mind. No, you didn't. I don't know. Forget I asked anything.
He's one of those hunter, perhaps. He walks the area quite often. He makes it his business to know things, and he makes it his business to charge for that knowledge, let me tell you. I wouldn't normally, he's a bit of an unscrupulous sort, I wouldn't normally recommend people go, but we're a little desperate, here, so if you can get anything from him, it might be worth having some coin to loosen his lips. Very disapproving of Tom Pawsey.
Tom.
No, I've noticed he never has anything for the tithe box, but
Oh my god. Right. Well, it is getting late. I believe it's best if. Are we at rank a bit?
Are we there yet?
I mean, well, you're also impatient. I thought that perhaps you'd want to ask me some questions, but if you're willing to move on.
I'm a little confused about my whereabouts. It's been a long day.
No, that's fine. We have about we have a little time to talk. It's about a half an hour carriage drive. Yes, so.
Longbeat lads. Would you know
yes.
this lass who was killed up in the other cave?
Daisy, yes, very, very sad. The whole thing is quite the mess. She's a local girl. Seemed like a perfectly pleasant girl. In fact, Effie, I think you would have rather liked her. She was very interested in local legends and folklore and things. She's very fond of stories. And she was, just growing into adulthood. Well, she was found dead near the entrance to the cave, as I said. It looked like I'll be honest, it looked like a rather large wild animal had got to it. And we, as I said in my letter, have not seen wolves in this part for quite some time. But I would say at least a wolf would have done this.
Could you remind me when she died again? How long ago?
Do you ever got to say she disappeared on May Day? That was about a month ago. And her body was found 3 days later.
3 days later.
3 days later, yes. There's another factor I mentioned in my letter. A young man, they were said to be courting, they were together, they were seen often together. They seemed happy enough, and he has been arrested for Daisy's murder. 3 days before her body was found. Apparently, she was in visible distress. She saw him in the company of another local girl. I don't know them very, very well, but my housekeeper, she might know more. And he kind of leans in, something of a gossip. So you will have to get her to warm up to you, but she's not fond of strangers, but she does enjoy gossip.
Yeah. Could you tell me the young man's name, please?
Billy Winchcombe is his name, and Daisy Thomas. Her father owns a farm, as does Billy's family also own a farm. A lot of my parishioners are farmers.
Wonderful. I see.
It has been causing a lot of tension, as you can imagine. Many of the villagers, they do not think that Billy did this crime. They think it was an animal, but the police are certain that Billy was involved.
Why exactly, if the body looks like it was ravaged by a wolf, what makes them think Billy could have been the one to do this?
An excellent question that many of the villagers have, but the police are, as the police often are, steadfast in their belief.
Who is Billy's family?
The Winchcombes. He had a couple of brothers, I think, and father.
What is their
mother.
standing in sort of society?
Oh, they're well respected. Billy is a lovely. Or I was under the impression was a lovely young lad. All of them are, and the Thomas family and the Winchcombe family, they get on very well. There is no rivalry between them. Everything is fine. They were very happy about their potential joining of their family. But I must say that, as I said, tensions have risen, and there's a lot of blame being shafted around, as you can probably imagine, especially since the animal attacks started.
Yes. When was that?
Animal attacks.
Yes. Again, timeline-wise, all seems to line up pretty well. In the last couple of weeks, I would say, as things have got colder, the sheep on both farms and many of the other farms have been going missing. Their bodies found. They burn them immediately, obviously, to just in case of disease or to try to. The smell of blood attracts predators, you understand. So to try to deter.
I don't suppose if you know much about the animals that are going missing and the state that they're found in, but is there any suggestion that it might have been a similar kind of creature, or wolf or something that attacked these things?
Many of the locals believe it to be a wolf. But there have been no wolf sightings for 4 centuries.
Right. Have any dead bodies of sheep been found?
Yes.
And does it look like they were eaten by wolves?
Yes.
Right. Well, that would do it then.
The doctor is taking notes. Doctor is dipping into veterinarian work. I love it.
I feel like the whole time Effie's just been stood behind you two, just nodding, sipping,
or sat next to you in a carriage. Yeah.
sipping her tea and going, "Oh yes, good question, good work. Yes, keep it up. Are we there yet?"
Oh. Look, we appear to be driving into Brankham right now. Everyone is so relieved. No one wants to spend time with this poor man who's asking to be here. So yes, as you kind of finish up this questioning, Brankham is a tiny village. It is nestled sort of in the fold of the hills. You kind of drive by, and he points out certain things to you. He points out the inn that he was talking about, known as the Shepherd's Rest. He points out his church. There is the vicarage where he lived, and he has prepared rooms for you all, so you don't need to worry about where you are going to stay. And there's this sort of like water mill that's kind of beside a bridge. There's not a whole lot else here, and I think Longby would explain to you that other things, there are other points of interest, like the police station, for example. That's actually back in Annonsbury, and it's not too difficult to get between the two, so it would be easy enough for you to travel to both places. Both places are sort of embedded within this mystery and are suffering from these effects. But people go to Annonsbury for kind of its market and its other sort of services. He would also tell you, Dr. Russell, that the doctor that analysed sort of the body is in Annonsbury.
Wonderful. I will need to speak with them.
And kind of just before you do enter the village, as you're kind of heading towards this stone bridge where you can see this mill, Longby does point to a hill behind the church, and it is. He sort of says, "There it is. That's Meg's Mount. That's the site of the cave. That's where the girl was found."
I see. What time is it? Of the day?
It's getting into close to evening now, so it is starting to get dark. Probably what Longby would suggest is, you're welcome to have dinner at the vicarage, or and then perhaps later on, if you wanted to, you could make a trip to the Shepherd's Rest as well. There'll be a few people around there that might know a bit more and things like that. So,
correct me if I'm wrong. Are we staying in your house?
Yes. I've had my housekeeper has had the beds made up.
Exactly.
Mrs. Hopper.
Mrs.
Hopper.
Speaking of her, since we need to head to there soon anyway, since it's getting late, I believe maybe speaking to the housekeeper about Billy and Daisy and the kids might be good to start with.
Like I said, she is something of a gossip, but she is. I would say she remains blissfully unaware of her own gossiping, shall we say. So she takes a little while to warm up to strangers. It will, you would have to ease her into the conversation. Not that I would know how to manipulate my own housekeeper, but will have any interest in the things that she has to say. But she's very comfortable around me now, so she'll tell them to me regardless,
I believe this might be better left to Effie to speak with the housekeeper.
Like Effie is the perfect person to speak to Mrs. Hopper.
Why, everyone would say that, good doctor.
As I was reading about that character, I was just like, "Oh, Effie's gonna have to deal with this one." As it is, we are an hour and a half in as you kind of pull up to the vicarage. Now feels to me like a good time to take a break. Cool. So thank you so much for joining us. If you have, I see the chat's been very active. I wish I could be more active in the chat, which has been incredible. Thank you all so much for your donations, because we've had an incredible amount of donations so far, and lots of incentives. We went over £100. So before we head off, I will tell another Christmas joke. How about that?
Yes.
Just to really lighten the mood. So, this is terrible. Who likes to hide in the bakery at Christmas time?
I don't know. Who likes to hide in the bakery at Christmas time?
I love that you humour me with this. A mince spy. And with that on that, I love that. Thank you for the fake laughter. It really makes me feel so good. Okay, so yes, we will head on out now. We're going to have a 15-minute break, and then we will be back. And then our lovely group will decide where they're going to go next. So thank you so much for watching so far, and we will be back soon. See you in a bit. Hey everyone, we are back. Hope that you've enjoyed your break. Hope that you've hydrated a little bit. We've had a little stretch of our legs. We're feeling a little better. We're ready to go. First things first, before we do anything else, we had another Don Our Gay Apparel donation, everyone. Yeah. So we are about to don some more. I'm actually going to join everyone else in looking somewhat festive now, because I do not look in any way festive at this point. So let's get some. Oh goodness, how am I going to get this?
Oh yes.
Let's get some. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Just
mega. Effie is.
unbelievable.
Yes.
This
Yes.
this is canonical now. Effie is wearing this, right?
This
Is
is
the
what
word-
Effie is wearing. I
Is the word
don't.
you're looking for iconic?
Yeah.
Iconic. As in eyes. Iconic.
Oh.
Ooh,
we,
yeah.
we arrived at
Um,
a town that was like it was winter, and Effie was like, I've got just the thing. For that."
we arrived at a town in many centuries ago that looks like winter, and Effie went, I'm a modern pumpkin spice girl with some figgy puddings on my eyes. All right, we have
Just
our
how I
festive
roll.
apparel on. I will just quickly remind our lovely viewers, thank you for sticking with us, first of all, and being with us on this stream. We really appreciate and love all your commentary in the chat and all of the donations and everything like that. Donation drive. I'm gonna just quickly put it out there. We are obviously supporting War Child charity, and we've raised over £100 so far. And I did give a Christmas cracker joke for free before we went to the break, just to say thank you to everyone for getting us over the £100 mark so quickly. I will not be giving any more freebies. So if you want to hear more of that incredible comedy from me, then you know exactly what you need to do. And that is to donate money to War Child. The amount £5 or £10 or £15 and say, Cat needs to tell 3 jokes. We have other incentives. We have £10. Our lovely players will get a dice in the pool to use. At £15, I will introduce a complication. I've got one in my back pocket, ready and waiting.
God.
£20, St. Biren's blessings upon all of our players. Something fortuitous will happen at St. Biren's discretion. And £25, what you've just seen right here. We will be donning more and more, as best we can. I think all of us are scrabbling already to be like, what do we put on? But I have a jumper. And I have some stickers, and none of you will get to see what I look like in any of those things unless you donate £25. So cool. That's the first bit. Second bit, we're running a giveaway. Rune Fable. Amazing one-of-a-kind dice set, and you could be in with a chance to win it. All you have to do is enter !dice giveaway in the chat, all as one block. I think all of us as players and GM did it just a moment ago, so you've got some lovely examples to follow, and that's the only reason we did it, obviously. Yeah, we have all. So please enter, and the winner will be announced when the finale of Heart airs with Ruben, because I am not the only Deck the Dice GM. The wonderful Ruben is running Heart. So that will be on the 19th of December. So get your entry in. Cool. So our lovely players. Bless them all. They're well prepared. They're ready for action. They have just arrived at the vicarage in the village of Brancombe. And Edgar Longby is desperate, so eager to be such a wonderful host to you all, and none of you can wait to be rid of him. Like, you're just in the carriage with him, like crying toddlers, like, are we nearly there yet? Every few seconds. No one wanted to have a chat with poor Mr. Longby. He was so happy to see you, Effie, and clearly the feeling was not mutual. But that said, you did learn a few things as you came by. You learned a little bit more about kind of what's been going on in the village. There has been a horrible murder, potentially by some wild animal, but the police remain convinced that they know best, and that is not the case, and that Billy Winchcombe, the suitor to said murder victim, is actually who is to blame, and he has been arrested and is due to stand trial very soon. So quite a fair bit to think about. You pull up at the vicarage. It is a sort of boxy 2-story building. It's got whitewash walls, a slate roof. On the lower floor, as you kind of get in and you're briefly shown around, you will find that there is Longby's office/library, and he has got quite an extensive library with many interesting looking titles. There's also a front parlour, a kitchen, the scullery, like this is a kind of standard sort of small, what you would expect to find in a small vicarage. And upstairs there are 4 bedrooms. 1 is Longby's, and 3 have been made up for you. Mrs. Hopper, you come to understand, his sort of assistant and housekeeper. She lives elsewhere, but she comes by every day, kind of thing, to take care of the house and to make sure everything's okay. There is a yard, there's a well, and there's an outhouse. So you get in, and Longby has offered for you all to perhaps have dinner here. Mrs. Hopper is in the kitchen making preparations for said dinner. There is a little bit of time before dinner as well, if you wanted to have a look at anything else, or chat any more with Longby. But yeah, for just this moment, he has also suggested that perhaps later, if you wanted to, you could head down to the Shepherd's Rest, which is the local inn, and there'll be quite a few more people around at that time that might have a little bit more of knowledge of what is going on. But yeah, what am I able to do?
One more question that I would like to ask Longby. I suppose when we're sort of putting down our luggage and our coats and whatnot, I mentioned. So you said that the police are especially suspicious of Billy for whatever reason, even though it seems quite strange to think that he could have done this. Do you know who the head of police is around here? Are they like maybe I don't know, maybe do they dislike Billy's family or something?
I mean, I wouldn't know anything about if there was any dislike. I would hope that the police would remain neutral in such a thing. But yes, I could give you his name. Inspector Robert Banks, his name is. He is the sort of the head of the police station, and he mostly stays at the police station. So you would have to go to the police station in Annonsbury.
Scribble. Everybody's just
chat
writing
to him.
down.
Everyone, it's my favorite thing when, as an NPC, I'm saying things and I watch everyone go. And I'm like, yes,
Robert,
take the notes. They won't help you in the end.
They'll help a little.
They'll help a little. They probably will.
Robert Longsbury?
Robert Banks. Banks, yes. Longby is the name. That's my name here. That's it. And what you've done there, you see, is you've mixed up his name, my name, and the name of the town, Annonsbury. I see exactly what you've done, and it's quite all right. You know, meeting new people, it can be quite confusing.
Quite all right, Doctor. I do it all the time.
But I'm not 70.
Excuse me now. What did you say? What was that last bit?
No. Oh, I didn't. Did you hear something?
The knuckle dusters are coming out.
I bought that. I can take it away.
Backs away slowly.
Longby just looking between all of you like, I'm going to go and see how dinner's getting on. Unless you had any more questions or anything, but feel free to. My library is at your disposal. Obviously, Effie, we've spoken about it. Feel free to have a look around, and if you need me for anything, I will be elsewhere. And he just kind of like.
Before you go, Longby,
yes.
You mentioned your extensive library. You don't happen to have any texts about Old Meg or the
I've no doubt that Old Meg is referenced in some of my text. Absolutely, you could have a look and see.
Perfect.
I wouldn't, at the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you which book. I've got a lot of books, but yes, I'm sure you could find something on Old Meg. But I'll tell you what. The best person to speak to about the legend of Old Meg is his name is Gaffer. Gaffer, old Gaffer Ingham. He's a little like you, in fact. He likes to put an old in front of his name.
Hold on. I don't like to put an old. People give me the old.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I assumed because in Effie's letter, she just wrote "old man Kirk." I thought that was terribly sorry, very awkward. Old Gaffer Ingham. He's is indeed the village's oldest inhabitant. No one really knows how old he is, to be honest. I don't even think he knows how old he is. But he is an excellent storyteller, and he knows all of the local legends and things. And he will be at the. Let me tell you, he's a prolific drinker. He will be at the Shepherd's Rest. Mark my words.
Perfect. We'll head there after dinner then, like we okay, so. Yeah, I can't talk to this old gaffer.
Yes. Should we do that after dinner, or what's the plan?
Sounds good to me.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you can do it after dinner. For now, then, while you're waiting for dinner to go, did you want to have a look at said library, or see if you could track down Mrs. Hopper, or any of those things?
I'll take a quick look at the library. Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. All right. So you make your way, and he's right for a obviously it's not like a university library, but for a small vicarage, this is quite an extensive collection, and it's like the entire office is basically lined with shelves of books. And they are all on sort of there's a lot of books on theology, which you would expect to find at a parish. There's a lot on history, some on archaeology, and folklore and local legends does seem to kind of just generally the county of Gloucestershire does kind of tend to feature heavily, it seems, in Longby's reading.
I I think Dale, I'll join you in the library, and Effie, if you could please track down Mrs. Hopper and figure out what this silly little school drama situation with Billy and Daisy was.
I suppose I could do that.
I would appreciate that. Dale, wait up.
No.
I can get you both to make individual investigation checks if you like, and then kind of see what you garner from your individual searching.
Yeah,
Well,
I think Dale's going to beeline for those books about Gloucestershire, about like local legends and things, and see if you can pick anything up from them.
Yep. So it would be an investigation check from each of you.
Logic. Good.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of dice. I like that.
Yeah, that's a five dice for investigation for me. So that's 2 sixes.
3, 4, 5, 6.
We haven't even got to do the push mechanic yet. What's going on? You guys are just rolling too well. And what did you get, Dr.
2
Russell?
6s.
2 6s.
Oh,
You absolute
amazing
blinders. Okay. Well, that's going to turn out very good for you. All right. So I'll tell you what you both find, and I'm gonna just kind of smush it together as like group findings, but with the fact that you both have a lot of successes in mind. So first of all, you find because you are specifically looking, and the thing that you were really interested in was the legend of Old Meg. And you do find a book that is called The History and Traditions of Gloucestershire. And inside there is a retelling, and it is a very brief retelling. It does not really go into huge amounts of detail, but it gives some indication of the legend of Old Meg, the standing stone, and a figure called Saint Biran. And you would kind of get that Saint Biran is a bit of a hit around these parts. The church is Saint Biran's church, and it is like sort of the local saint, as it were, the one that has it's like Saint George and the Dragon kind of thing. It's Saint Biran and Old Meg is the local legend. This saint famously battled an evil witch and allegedly turned her to stone by the power of his prayers. And the book doesn't really go into huge detail on exactly what that battle looked like or how he managed that. But this story definitely kind of piques you as the kind of story that it would be good to get more information on. And this is the legend, that Longby was referring to, that Gaffer would know more about for sure. So that's the first thing you've learned. The second thing, you kind of, as you've been reading, trying to find about Old Meg, you do find some more information on the stone itself, less as a mythological figure and more as a sort of from an archaeological point of view. The monuments and antiquities. The words are starting to fail, everyone. No, it's fine, everything is fine. The monuments and antiquities of Gloucestershire, and an archaeological survey of the county was published about 20 years ago, and it includes a map of the cave and its surroundings, and the location of the standing stone is marked on this map. The stone is described in this book as a single standing stone, about the height of a man, typical of those found in upland areas across England and Scotland, and generally ascribed to the Neolithic era. No trace was found of any circle or other arrangement of stones of which the stone might formerly have been a part. So this stone is just a single standing stone and monument, and you would probably know that a lot of other stones, even if they have like legends attributed to them, it tends to be things like hag name and their daughters or something, because there's a few of them. There's like they're together.
Right.
But this one appears to be an isolated stone, and there was no trace around it of anything of that age or even coming close to that age that
So what do you
stood
mean
with
by
this
that?
stone. So it's an incredibly old stone that they think comes from the Neolithic era. It's very, very old, but there's no trace of anything like it, or of its age. Everything else is much newer around it, which is quite unusual. That's its unusual. What makes it unusual, because normally when standing stones are found, they're found as part of like almost like a ruins, or I guess like Stonehenge. Like Stonehenge, there would be like a few of them and other things of that kind of age around it, but there doesn't seem to be with this one.
Interesting.
And then the other thing I'm going to give you, because you rolled 4 successes in all, which is incredible, you would also notice on the desk that Longby has been sort of compiling notes. He's clearly going to write like a parish history, so in his spare time, he's writing a book. And among his documents are some maps of the area. you can use these maps and take them basically and use them, and Longby will let you.
I would not.
And you will get you'll get advantages from using these maps. Okay, so you will get a +2 bonus to any learning or investigation rolls when player characters are looking for a potential pattern or route that the creature or whatever it is that is causing this issue might be following. Okay, so if you're specifically looking for that that set of circumstances, as it were, you are allowed to add. So it's probably a good idea to write this down. You are allowed to add to learning or investigation rolls around that specific thing, because you now have these maps on you.
Again?
For if player characters are at all looking for patterns or routes that the creature might be following. Because you have like maps of the area basically that allow you to kind of pinpoint. So you'd be able to use it, for example, to mark where attacks have happened and things like that, and you would be able to potentially figure out a route or something of that nature. And that's what you get. That's what you get for all of your wonderful.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, 4 successes is a lot, so I felt like it was worthy. I am going to quickly, actually, just so that you can feel a little bit more immersed. I'm going to add a map into into our group chat so that you can kind of see.
Awesome.
So this is a map, because you found quite a few different like map related things. So you can see on there, this is quite a good map of Brancombe, the village of Brancombe. And you can see kind of what Brancombe looks like, where the church is, everything like that, where the river is. And then do I have another map? I might have another map.
There's a road.
Yeah, so there's a route that kind of takes you up towards Meg's Mount. And yeah, you can see like the road to the farms and things like that. So you've got a rough idea of how to navigate the village of Brancombe, but could be worthwhile talking to this Tom Pawsey guy for the kind of like the wilds, as it were, to kind of navigate those, and he would know his way around that a lot better.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Right. I think while they're
doing that,
in the library,
let's have a little look at what old Effie Turner is doing.
I think Effie is not accustomed to girl chat, so she's kind of psyching herself up a little bit. It's gonna go and have a look. Was it Mrs. Hopper?
Mrs. Hopper, absolutely.
Mrs. Hopper. Where might I find Mrs. Hopper right now?
You will find Mrs. Hopper right now in the kitchen.
Okay.
You did briefly see her, I think. I think as you kind of came in, you saw her. She was coming down the stairs. You imagine she was probably just finishing up the last little bits of like making sure your rooms were okay. And she was coming down the stairs. She probably, as you were talking to Longby, took some of your luggage and made her way upstairs with it. You would have noticed, I think, she didn't seem necessarily. She kind of gave you like a wave and a sort of a greeting. She's not rude, but she certainly didn't seem all that keen on having so many people here all of a sudden. She's eyeing all of you as she walked in, just to try to really kind of size you up a little bit. She's slightly territorial in this place. This is her workspace. This is and Edgar is quite a He's quite a nervous man, so she probably has the run of the house a little bit, even though he is technically her boss and in charge. So she's a little bit on edge as she tries to figure all of you out and that. But she has, at this point, she's in the kitchen. She's kind of finishing off the preparations for dinner, which will be served relatively shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think seeing this and Effie knowing that she's in this person's domain and they're probably quite busy, I think she's going to try and insert herself gently and say, "Excuse me, dear, Mrs. Hopper, was it? I'm Effie. Can I help in some way? Is there something I can do to help?"
Help? Oh, no, don't trouble yourself, dear. Don't trouble yourself, dear. I've got it all in hand.
Oh, well, it's no trouble, but of course, yeah, it's what you want, my dear. Tell me, I've not been to this area before. Could you just tell me some things to look out for while I'm around?
As in landmarks?
Well, yes. I'm quite interested in folklore and history and the like.
Oh, one of them lot. There's a lot of people around here that are quite interested in folklore and things like that. The Master Longby included.
Oh yes. Well, Edgar and I go back a ways.
Yes, so I've heard. Yes.
And are you from this area?
Yes, born and raised here, and she is guarded, but she's not trying to be unfriendly. She's a little busy, but she kind of she goes, yes, I was born and raised here. I've married here, and I'm a widow now, of course, but. It keeps me busy, coming and doing the cooking and cleaning and such. So
yes, of course.
we have to keep ourselves busy.
Yes, it's always a shame when we lose someone we love.
Yes,
That
yes.
reminds me. This business with the young lady.
Oh, terrible business. Yes. You're talking about Daisy Thomas, I presume.
Yes.
Roll as you're kind of trying to slide into this conversation, and you're offering help, and you're trying to get in her good graces by acknowledging grief. Please roll me a manipulation test.
Okay, I have 1 in manipulation and 5 in empathy.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good
6. 5, 6. Here we go. Ooh, that's 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, 1 success. That's okay. She is taking a little bit of time to warm up to you, but as you're kind of talking and I think it's the comment about it's hard to lose someone you love that kind of gets her a little bit, and she kind of goes, well, I mean, I suppose if you insist on helping, I understand we have to keep ourselves busy at our age. Otherwise the mind withers, so but perhaps if you could help me with some of the if you could just chop some of the carrots there for me.
Oh yes, of course.
And yeah, all right. I'll give you a little bit of information. I'm sure Mr. Longby has told you everything that there is to know, but what is it that you wanted to know exactly about them?
Well, I'm awfully curious about this this standing stone that's just up and disappeared. I mean, how does something like that happen?
Oh, not so certain about something like that. I mean, Mr. Longby, he's an excellent parishioner or an excellent curate for us, but he has something of a wild imagination at times. He believes in superstition and such. Um, I I don't know much about that, but I mean, it is odd, I suppose, if something has happened to that stone, that it was at the same place where the young lady passed away.
Yes, I was thinking the very same.
What I do know is they think that Billy did this, and I'm not so sure it was Billy. Daisy and Billy, they were a very devoted couple to each other. Everyone in the village knew that Billy would ask for Daisy's hand very, very soon. It was almost a given that it was going to happen. He had kind of been saving up, he'd made some money, sold a small flock of sheep. I don't know why Billy would go to the Mayfair with Jenny, but that's. It was rumoured that they fell out about that. That's what everyone keeps telling me. And
Jenny.
Jenny.
Whispers of Jenny on the wind.
Nobody even knows who this Jenny is. I didn't even recognise her. I saw her there. I didn't recognise her.
Oh, how interesting. Could she perhaps be from another town?
Very, very possible. I mean, the Mayfair festivities that we have here are quite popular in the area. I didn't recognise her from the village. Not sure why she was on Billy's arm, and if he's going to go chasing after other women, then that's not something that he should potentially do in front of someone he seems to be committed to. But I don't know that he had it in him to kill Daisy. No. And the local police are useless.
I think Effie's going to move a little bit closer now that she feels she's gained this person's trust a little.
Mm-hmm.
Put a gentle hand on her shoulder and say, "Who do you think did it? What do you think's behind it?"
I think there's a moment where she's kind of like carving meat. And as she's been talking more and more, and she's been getting more and more into it. And the moment you say that, she recognises in you a fellow gossip. Or she believes that she does. And she's been very back straight. But the moment that you say that, she leans in and she goes, "Well, rumours around the village. People think there's a curse."
You don't say.
Yeah. I mean, how do we explain this strange weather? It's all happening at the same time. Strange weather, animals being killed, poor young Daisy. It's a curse. I'm telling you. Or a ghost.
Oh, my goodness. I think she's just processing what she's heard and thinking about what she's going to take to the others.
And I think she kind of at this point starts to kind of like drift into just like general gossip about people. She mentions as well that like at one point she puts forward a theory that perhaps Daisy might have upset some spirit because she was interested in folklore, and she was sticking her nose into things that perhaps you shouldn't be sticking your nose into as a god-fearing parishioner, you know, and perhaps she's upset some spirit and brought a curse upon herself, and it starts to get wilder and wilder as these kind of various rumors and speculation. She mentions as well, as Edgar Longby did, she mentions Gaffer, that Daisy had frequent talks with him, and was very interested in a lot of his stories and things like that. Though she seems to view Gaffer as nothing but a ridiculous old drunk, but she does kind of mention that. She has a lot of I think at this point the speculation just seems to go wildly off into just general village gossiping, and it's about sort of a lot of people that aren't really involved. But she does mention the rising tension between the police force and the villagers as a result of all of this. So she says they're getting, people are getting very impatient with the police. They've been useless. They don't listen to anything that we have to say. We know these people, we've lived with them. And Billy was a lovely young lad, and we keep trying to tell him that he looks more like an animal, but it's like it's falling on nothing. They won't tell us anything, and they've got him in a cell, and they won't even let his family really see him. So
they won't. I'm not there.
Maybe you just got an ear pressed to the door.
Through the door. The two of you just we've been done for ages. Just gossip.
What's taking so long?
What's taking so long?
We found all these maps and things.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. But other than that, that's basically the crux of the information that she has to give you, I think.
Oh, well, thank you so much, dear. It's been lovely to speak with you. I better get ready for dinner.
Oh, well, pleasure is all mine, my dear. Thank you for your help. And yes, dinner will be along in just a moment. Please get seated and comfortable with your travelling. And she seems a little like thinking on the companions for the first time. She's like, this is a bit of an eclectic bunch. But she's like, yeah, you're travelling companions.
Companions, yes.
She definitely begins conversation again to start prodding for information on them. So just yeah.
Well, gotta go. Bye.
Off I go.
Was I shouting to you? Bye.
Oh, this wasn't an information exchange. No, cheerio.
Oh, yeah, this was a two-way. Sorry for the confusion. In case I was.
Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. But yes. So yeah, and you're able to kind of sit and have dinner with Longby, and I guess kind of catch up with him a little bit. Like he's very keen to kind of help you get your investigation started. But as you kind of look outside, you do notice that the snow is starting to pick up a bit, and it's no longer kind of a light dusting. It is actually starting to snow a little bit heavier now. And he says, oh, I fear even if we wanted to go to Anonsbury, it's probably not the safest. We should wait till the morning. But the Shepherd's Rest is only down the road. It shouldn't be too dangerous to get there.
Yes, that sounds like a very good idea.
All right. So you are wanting to head to the Shepherd's Rest next, I take it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You have your lovely dinner, and you then, and Longby kind of accompanies you. He definitely he's definitely not someone that clearly goes to the pub often. He's kind of gets dressed up in his smartest looking, as if he's going out somewhere,
Oh.
and he's not just going down to the local pub.
Bless
But he
him.
gets up dressed up, and he's got like a long coat on and some quite fancy-ish looking boots.
3-piece suit.
Yeah, he's got a 3-piece suit on. He's got the works. He's combed his hair back.
Pocket watch.
Yeah, he's trying his best. He really is. He's got his best specs on, and he kind of like they go, well, this way, and sort of leads you. You find that the village pub is kind of built of the local golden limestone, and it's got a kind of roof that's got stone shingles on it. There's a tap room on the ground floor. There's accommodation kind of for the innkeeper and family behind. The beer cellar is cut into the rock below the tap room. And there is a sort of barrel hatch set into the floor behind the bar, and a set of stairs that leads up to where the family suite of rooms are. And you know that there are rooms available here, but obviously you have no real need of them. It is an inn after all, but you have no need of them. You find as you walk in. So let me just place everyone. There is a gentleman kind of sitting away from everyone. He is quite small, slender. He's got very dark eyes and like a very tangled mop of hair. And his eyes have a very kind of watchful quality about them. Like it seems like he's just watching everyone in the room. He's not really engaging with anything that's going on. And he's very quiet. He kind of sitting in the corner, not really paying attention, but he's got his drink with him and he's sticking with it. You would probably see and understand who old Gaffer Ingham is immediately, because he is a man that looks like the oldest man to have ever lived. He's like literally like the most like hunched over. He's got this huge grey scraggly beard, bald head, like but with this kind of like mop of hair kind of sticking out just from behind his ears. He is exactly as Longby kind of described him. No one seems to know his true age, and you can quite believe it. He sort of looks like a very not grumpy, but just a slightly like grizzled Santa Claus that has seen some shit. That's what he gives you the impression of. Like it's like a veteran Santa Claus is what you're looking at here.
He is into it.
And hold on, romance. Let me just refer to the romance lines in Wales here.
He is into older men, I guess.
we love it. He, on the other hand, while there's this sort of gentleman sitting in the corner, not really engaging, but kind of watching everyone, including you as you walk in, his eyes kind of flick up to you and he looks at you and you can see he immediately marks you as strangers. And he looks interested, but then kind of goes back to his drink. Gaffer Ingham does not pay any attention to the fact that you've just walked into the room, because he's currently kind of in a conversation with a sort of a couple of enraptured listeners. And he seems to be in the middle of kind of telling them some story. So he has no idea. And he's just kind of he's got a mug of beer in hand. You would also find like sort of a couple of you would see.
Did Longby say that Tom or Gaff are the ones that they like drinking? He specifically mentioned somebody was enjoyed.
That was Gaffer. Gaffer enjoys a drink, and he definitely seems like the people that are listening to the story, you would see actually, I think, as you walked in, one of them kind of buys him a drink, and he seems to encourage him to keep going.
Yeah.
So he definitely does seem to enjoy kind of like when people. He's just like, if I tell you a story, you'll buy me a drink, won't you? And it's just like that's the exchange.
Mhm.
You have someone that Longby would tell you his name is Albert Bradley. He's behind the bar, and he seems to be the owner of the Shepherd's Rest. And also a couple, I think, of a couple of men that look kind of like regulars are just kind of sat at the bar and they're just having a chat with each other.
Right. I think I want to hear more about that legend from Mr. Gaffer. Mr. Gaffer something. And I do happen to have a bottle of fine wine in my handy dandy little bag.
Yes,
Oh
and
my.
am I right in thinking that this bottle of fine wine gives you some kind of advantage in getting information?
It is a +1 for inspire and manipulate. However,
I love
I
that.
am going to hand this bottle of fine wine to Miss Effie because I have 2 dice. I would have 2 dice if I tried to roll inspire or manipulation.
Are you're what? Dr. Russell, not an inspirational figure? I will not hear it.
Oh, don't
I
believe that.
will not hear it, but I do believe that if you are looking for maximum inspiration, Effie is the person to look at.
I would, however, like to help action as well because I want to be in the conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Tell me, Chris, what do you think you're going to do? What do you think Dale is going to do if these two are going to go storytelling?
We could triple attack
So
Mr.
all the
Gaffer.
cops.
Just descend on him.
I figure he's got enough between the people he's already chatting to and Effie and Adelaide hanging over there. I'm going to take a guess here that our watchful friend in the corner is Tom Posey.
It may well be. It might. I mean, if you asked Edgar, he would give you a sly nod in that direction. Yes.
Right, and he's our fella who knows the area. He's like a hunter.
He knows the area. Yes.
Okay. I think I might go and chat, see if I can strike up a conversation. Actually, before I go over, can I take a look at his drink and see if I can figure out how full or not it is?
You can, yeah. You can. Oh, do you know what? I will make you roll for it because we haven't had a roll in a while, have we?
Why not?
We have. Yeah, why not? So what is it? Must be some kind of. There must be some kind of perception. I'm forgetting the skills. Oh no, it's all going wrong.
Would it be observation or
observation? Oh yeah, that sounds perfect. Observation. That sounds correct.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Would you qualify this as a situation that I'm not currently involved in? This is a very strange way of wording this, but I do have a
I feel like you have a talent, don't you? Yes, I know exactly. I was looking at your talent. Yes. So eagle eye. So I will allow you to. I will allow you to make it as because it's +2 to vigilance. So I will allow you to no, but I will allow you to do a vigilance roll. I think I'm having a look here, and I see that vigilance is it is a perception based roll, but it's a little bit more like interpret situations you are monitoring. Yeah, so it's like about figuring out how to best tackle a situation, who might be a threat, etc., etc. I will allow it. I will allow that interpretation of it.
If I expand this a bit more then into not just like the silly drink thing, but me trying to kind of figure this guy out and see what the best way to try and strike up a conversation
Yeah,
he might be into
absolutely.
is, see if I can get about him.
You can absolutely do that. Yeah.
So this is going to be quite a few dice here because I've already got quite high vigilance anyway. With the extra 2, because my vigilance would be 2 plus 3 logic, and then the extra 2 from eagle eye. So I'm getting quite a few here, and that is, I see a 6 there. I see 2 6s there actually.
Incredible.
Hey.
You are rolling so good, all of you.
I am very lucky with that.
We're using our strengths, Cat.
I love that. So you absolutely can figure out this guy. It is Tom Pawsey. You can get that from kind of like some context clues from Edgar, and he's definitely like watching out. The things that you learn about Tom Pawsey, just from kind of observing him and observing the people around him, he's not particularly popular. Everyone in this place seems to be kind of chatting with each other and having a relatively good time. And you know, he is by himself. No one approaches him to talk to him. He's not a well-liked guy. That's number 1. Number 2, he doesn't seem to really care about that. He doesn't seem to care for friendship. And that's something that will serve you well. He's not here to make friends. He's not here for someone to be like, hey, you seem like you're lonely. Let me come and talk to you. He does not care what the people around him think of him. He doesn't seem to think much of the people around him either. Thing number 3, yes, his drink is running low. He's sipping from it frugally, which means, and you get the sense that he is not. What you see is a pretty fat coin purse. He seems frugal about spending it. He's a little bit of a tightwad. He seems to like money. Like he kind of it's almost like a nervous tick. Just casually just making that gesture. It's almost like a nervous tick. He kind of like sort of paws at it constantly as if he's like guarding it. So money is something that he cares about very much. He's he has a lot of focus. You get the sense that he's probably, whatever it is that he kind of does, he's probably very good at it. But he's got no time for people or chit chat. He is a very straight to the point guy. And money and potentially gift giving are his love language, I guess. That's what's going to get you the most success. That's what you get from it.
Okay. I think then in that case, Dale figures, a bit, in some cases you can see with the others, like there's a bit of finesse needed to get where you want to have it. I think within this case, it's just going to be a sit down. Here's the business. So I think Dale goes up to the bar and buys 2 drinks, one for him, one for his new acquaintance, well, soon to be new acquaintance.
Okay.
And he strides over, confidently, as if him being the other member of that table was a foregone conclusion, and dumps the 2 drinks down, and then sits across from Tom in his eye line to where he was looking around.
Just inserting yourself into the picture. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we like that. He kind of looks at you and waits for you to say something.
Tom Pawsey.
That would be me. Well, I don't really remember inviting you to sit at the table with me, friend.
I figured I didn't need to invite you. You're by yourself anyway. I understand.
No, it's fine. Keep going.
I've given to understand that you're something of a knowledgeable person about this area. You probably figured out we're new here, so I figured it might be worth talking to you.
Are you given to understand that? Well, I am knowledgeable about some things. Depends on what, really. And it depends on why.
All right, well, okay, so straight to the point. We've been asked to come here because there was a lassie who was died recently up on that hill.
There was.
And
Police seem to be investigating it.
not very well, from what I've heard. And
Seems like you've heard a lot.
people tell us things, you know, it's something of a talent we have. Anyway, following that, there's all the sheep have been killed, and a lot of talk about some kind of wild animal or beast or something of the like. Really, and this monument, this standing stone, has apparently gone walkabouts, which seems unusual to say the least.
That does seem unusual.
If you're the sort who knows this land and wanted this land a lot, I was looking to ask if you've seen any strange goings on. What might explain what a lot of these events.
Well, I might know something. What's it worth to you?
Good question. At this moment, he realizes that he's not got a huge amount to his name. Does Dale?
And I think that he looks at you and he gives you a look like he knows that, and then his eyes flick across to your doctor friend and back at you.
Oh.
Well, I've noticed that he looks.
I'm not made of money, you know.
He knows which of the party put skill points into resources. Let me tell you.
He knows who's bankrolling us.
Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
All right, name your turn.
I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
You seem like a straightforward guy. And I like that. I like that you haven't come over here and tried to butter me up. Straight to business. That's how I tend to do things. So I'll get straight to business with you. I am willing to take you around, maybe to where the lass's body was found, maybe to go and visit a couple of the farms, if that's what you want to do. And I might know some things that I might tell you along the way. But I'm going to want some payment for it. A pretty significant payment.
All right. What's your price?
Couple of shillings.
I don't personally here don't have any understanding of, like, I imagine this is going to be a.
Me neither. I'm just reading it from the. Well, that just seemed about the right amount, friend. It just something. Call it Saint Biren's word in my ear tells me that a couple of shillings is the right price thereabouts. And I'm sure that your friend has what I need, even if you don't.
I think Dale just looks over and the other two and kind of just kind of does a bit of and looks back over at Tom's. I'll have a chat with the other two then, shall I?
Good. You have a chat with them. I'm not the chatting type. Get back to me with your decision. Now, if you don't mind, I prefer to drink alone.
Yes, you do. And he picks up his drink and walks over to the other two.
All right. The two of you, you head on over to where old Gaffer is. And he's in the middle of some story. He doesn't even really seem to notice that you are there. And you kind of while this conversation is going on with Tom Pawsey, it's one of those moments where he's so into this story, you don't really want to interrupt him. So you're kind of standing and hovering awkwardly, and figuring out when is the best moment for me to insert myself into this conversation. And just as he seems to figure out, he seems to kind of find a natural lull, and the couple seems to be kind of, like one of them is just like, oh dear, we have to get back to and then they start to pack up their things. It's lovely talking to you, and it just seems like the perfect moment to interject. It feels like the perfect moment for me to interject with a GM complication.
Oh no.
No.
So at that moment, just as you raise your breath to try to, speak to this man, the door to the inn opens, and in walks a police officer.
Oh.
And you watch as his eyes kind of sweep around. Dale, you watch as Tom kind of shifts himself in his seat, and he almost looks like he's in best behavior mode. He kind of shifts a bit further in towards the window where the booth might cover him up a little bit. Definitely doesn't want to be drawing the attention of the police. And this police officer walks in, and his eyes sweep around, and it lands on each and every single one of you, and then shifts over to Edgar Longby. And he says, Edgar? And the curate kind of turns around, and he goes, yes, constable, yes, how can I help? And he goes, I think it's time that you and your new friends and I had a little chat, if that's okay. And we are going to leave this session here.
Wait.
No, wait. We will do this. We will do this next week. So, we are leaving you now in the inn. A police officer has just walked in, and I think you would have noticed that everyone kind of shifts. The whole mood of the place kind of shifted as he walked in. Cool. So thank you so much, first of all, to my lovely players for being so wonderful in this. It has been an absolute joy this first half, and I cannot wait for us to come back same time, same place next Tuesday and finish this story, because you're all absolutely wonderful. Also, thank you to everyone who's kind of joined us in the chat. Donations have been kind of rolling in. We got to don much gay apparel. We must remember what gay apparel that we donned, so that for next time we can put even more on as time goes on, and all those £25. All of those £25 donations come in. This has been absolutely delightful. This is my final little warning about the giveaway. ! Dice giveaway, all as one complete word block, to enter the giveaway for a set of dice made by Rune Fable, which is going to be absolutely if you've ever seen any of Rune Fable's stuff, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
It's really, really, really kind of them to donate this. So get those entries in, because it's a really pretty set of dice. This has been the system Vaesen that we have been playing by Free League Publishing. We're going to go around and kind of outro ourselves, I guess. Thank you for joining us here at EUphoria, where we've been raising money for charity. As I said at the beginning of the stream, if you want to find out more about EUphoria, or you want to kind of connect with them, or join their Discord, or see the pictures of the pretty dice, you will find it at their social media, which is down below. Please click the links, have a look. Yeah, we're going to go around now. This is your chance, everyone, to plug. This is the plugging moment, the moment that you talk about the things that you've been doing, or even just the things that you like to do in your spare time. If you haven't really got any projects going on, that's also absolutely fine. Let's go backwards this time. I'm going to start with you, Shaghik.
Okay. Oh God. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was a lot of fun. I can't wait for session 2. I am Shaghik. My pronouns are she/her. I am a sound designer and general editor. And I guess the one thing I could plug right now is that it's still very much in pre-production, but I'm currently working on an audio drama that's a sort of small town mystery. I'm working with a writing partner, and I can't talk about it yet because it's still very much, again, we're still writing the scripts. But once I start talking about it, it'll be on my Blue Sky at Shaghik, which is just my name. It's on the screen, Shaghik. And that'll be really exciting. It's a sort of small town mystery, mostly lighthearted, but also takes place in the real world. So there's to an extent. That's it. Yeah, that's all I've got.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to Megan. What have you been doing, Megan?
That's me. Oh, who knows? I'm Megan Ramirez. You can find me on socials at mumblemegs. You can also find the one game that I've made so far on itch.io. It's also at mumblemegs. And yeah, other than that, you just find me wandering around in the woods, probably. I'll be there. Just look for me.
Incredible. Just wandering the woods. just any woods. Just your local backyard woods. Probably Megan is there.
Just
dressed exactly like this.
There's a gnome, there's a fairy, there's Megan, yeah, sure.
Yep. I mean, don't we all really just aspire to be a witch in the woods? Like, doesn't that not sound like
so true?
Sound like the dream?
To leave society and live in the woods.
Yeah. All right, Chris, tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Tell us all about you.
I'm Chris, and I mentioned before my Blue Sky is at Vengaboy. I don't really do a huge amount of online related stuff with TTRPGs. Most of my games are in-person ones and just with friends and family and stuff. Outside of this, I'm a chemistry technician by days at university. So not really all that related field, but I run a lot of games as well and do lots of one shots for people, and I've had designs on done in my own game as well, which is very early days, but maybe at some point in the future I might be sharing that in places. So keep an eye on that, I suppose.
Yeah. Just put on my most terrifying hag voice there to say that. All right. Thank you, Chris. So I guess that leaves me. Hello, everyone. I'm Kat, otherwise known as the Law Mistress. I am Law Mistress 93 over on social medias. You mostly find me at Blue Sky now because I have long abandoned the bad place, we shall call it. I am also found over on Twitch and YouTube under the Law Mistress. I stream at points various games and things. Often I'm doing solo games. But I honestly, for just as you were all talking, I had this moment of blanking, like, what am I going to talk about? And then I remembered I made a very exciting announcement today that I do have things to talk about. I have just gone into a partnership with Rich from Hatchling Games and Josh from Art of Arkham, and we are making some horror zines, everyone, under the name Gast. It is a solo horror zine collection. Volume 1 is what we are going to be crowdfunding, and you can check that out on my social media. You can find it at Hatchling Games social media, and Hatched Games, which is the company that we are setting up, because it's like more adult, scary horror stuff. But yeah, we are really, really, really excited. We're looking to kind of set it up as a publishing initiative and hopefully spotlight really talented members of the community that like just might need a push to start making games. Looking at you people here that said that you wanted to make games, but yeah, we're very, very excited, and you can find more details of that over on my social media, so please go and check that out. And there is a sort of link to the page on BackerKit where you can give it a follow if it looks like your cup of tea. Really, really excited. So thank you so much for joining us. Shall I do one more cracker joke to see us out?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Do that.
Excellent.
Yeah, go on then. Why not? Let me have a let me find a good. I say a good one. Let me find one. What? Okay.
Maybe you shouldn't have said, "Let me find a good one."
I mean, like, okay, so it's not a good one, but what does Santa suffer from if he gets stuck in a chimney?
I don't know. What does Santa suffer from if he gets stuck in a chimney, Cat?
I feel like our producer knows. It is claustrophobia.
Oh, I mean,
Okay, we love it. That was so fun, right? More of that next week if you come and join us. £5 donation is all you need, and I will be cracking these comedic fantastic jokes at you left, right, and centre, as many as you like.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, with that, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Cheerio.
Bye.